Hey guys, welcome back. And today I'm going to be drawing a new character I just made up in my mind. And I don't really have anything else to say about him yet because you're going to see what he looks like. Also, as you see, I kind of deleted the longer head shape because I don't like it that much. I know some people's face is kind of long, but I personally like the short stubby faces. And this is also gonna be like more like a kid. And so yeah. I don't have the full version of Ibis Paint X or Ibis Paint. So I use the pen for sketching, and sometimes if I'm in the mood I'll make the pen really light so that it looks like a pencil. Just my little way of cheating. But yeah. I give a lot of my characters cool clothing. So yeah. Also the eyes are always really hard for me to do, especially like where to place them. Just yeah. I sometimes have my characters looking to the side. Not always though. Cause then after a while it gets boring. And yeah. Oh, I forgot to mention, a lot of my art is very heavily inspired by my favorite artist on YouTube, which is Love to Draw Manga. You should go check out her channel. And she has been my inspiration for the past year or so. I think year. I'm not very sure when I started watching her, but I love her videos. And I think when I was like younger, I saw one of her videos and didn't realize until my age now that she was the person I watched to draw. For me to draw that thing. I think it was an eye. One of the eyes I had drawn in my old sketchbooks. And I was like, wow, this looks super good. And I don't know where that sketchbook is, so I can't really show you. But I know it's somewhere, so I have to look for it. But yeah, I drew that and I was like, wow, I didn't know I could draw this. And then like years later, I found her channel again and I was like, wait, that's the tutorial I watched. So that was cool. Oh, back to the clothes. I'm doing the clothes at the moment, and I noticed this kid looked kind of bulky, so I decided to, yeah, put his arms in a bit more, make them less, big. Oh, and this little face that I drew here, his eyebrows were really small, so I had to make them bigger. Of course, because that was just a sketch, so I needed to make everything bigger, except for the eyes, like the pupils. I don't really make those bigger. So for his expression, I see kind of sad. Also, his eyes look like they were going kind of cross-eyed, which I didn't like. I ended up changing the placement of the eye, but after a while, I still didn't like it. I just kept it though, because I didn't want to change it anymore. So I just kept the other eye placement. It looks like he's kind of looking different directions, which bothers me quite a bit. But yeah. Hair. Hair is something I'm not very good at, especially with the details. I see a lot of people add a lot of details to their character's hair. I'm just not good at it yet, so I just add highlights. And whenever I add highlights, it's just the lighter color. And I've seen artists look like they have like 15 layers. I usually have about 8, but I can understand why. They're very good at art, so Oh, I had originally made his nose pointier because, in my opinion, elves usually have pointier noses, or like they kind of go up in a point, but I decided to not do that. I'm just doing my regular eyes. Well, these are the eyes usually used for chibis. I usually use these eyes when I'm doing kids or smaller, younger people, or when I'm just, doing stuff. I added a lot of highlights for this because I wanted it to look like he was sad or kind of crying a little bit. And I don't know if I succeeded that very much. I never put tears, but I guess it's just like, ah. Like, oh, I don't like getting yelled at, kind of. I've been very busy, which is why I haven't posted that much. Well, in my opinion, busy is busy. So I'm trying to do one every other day, which did not happen. It's been 4 days, so yeah, I'm gonna try keep a schedule. Maybe every 4 days, depending on what I'm doing. If I'm busy, then that's probably not gonna be a possibility. So, oh, also, this part of the eye, I do not like doing. I love adding highlights. I love adding detail to the pupil, but the white part of the eye just gets me. Like, I cannot do it because it's so hard. Also, I don't think you can tell at the moment, but this is what I was talking about with the eyes, how they kind of look like they're going different directions. Like, he's kind of looking at something and then he's looking at something else. Kind of bothers me a little bit. And with the eraser, I have to be very, 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 very careful because if I add enough black around the eyes, the color kind of just disappears. Sorry if I'm talking too fast, but yeah, that was kind of my point. Like, see? Yeah. Oh, and then I realized I had done something on the same layer and I forgot what it was earlier. I think. Yeah. So I had a lot of erasing to do when I fix the eyes. Oh, and then shadows. I do a really, really dark color for shadows, and then I'll change the opacity later on. So here I just chose a really, 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 really dark brown, almost black, for the shadows. And I don't usually do this, but I covered more of his face with shadow on our left side, the way we're looking at him. I added more shadow than I thought I was going to, but I guess I was trying to go for like a, I don't know. I guess the light's coming from the right then, but okay, I'm really bad at this. That's the only thing I'm gonna say. I'm really bad at this. I don't quite get lighting very, very much yet, so I'm just trying something. And for the shading on the neck, where it goes on his shirt, is something I don't really ever do. This is just something new. See, like, I'm adding a different color to his color. So yeah, this is something new I'm doing at the moment. I don't really ever shade the shirt like this. Shade the shirt. Shade the shirt. That's fun to say. Shade the shirt. Yeah, I never shade the shirt like this. Oh, and yeah, I lowered the opacity so it's not like overwhelming shadow. It's still there, but it's not really dark and extreme like I had it before I lowered the opacity. And blush. Oh my gosh, I love giving blush to my characters. My friends always ask, like, why do you always put blush on them? Why not? It's the best part of any drawing I ever make. It is the blush. And actually, you know what? I'm just now really realize what happened today. I mean, what is happening? I just realized that this video is longer than the last one, and I'm not sure why, but it just is, so I gotta deal with that.
Oh, y'all can still
film. Oh, this part was really tricky because I couldn't get the right color, so I had to redo his mouth, and it looked like he was sticking his tongue out, so that was really hard to do. It just looks so awkward. It looks like he's saying something, which wasn't my point. It was like, oh, kind of like the face you make when you're getting in trouble. Like your sad, mopey face. I don't know how else to describe it. This is the face I was thinking of, and it was not working. I do a more dull color for the tongue, which is what I did here, and it worked. So I kept it like that. Oh, and here is where things get tricky. I think I'm doing the hair. Yeah. And I dislike doing highlights and details on the hair because it confuses me so much. Like, I don't ever know what I'm doing. I just pick a lighter color than the hair, and yeah, that's it. Oh, and yeah, I picked a lighter color and I place it on there in these like little whatever these are, and then I lower the opacity so it's not like bursting. I don't know what else to use. Gleaming. Too much light, I guess. And I would add shadow to the hair if I knew how, but I don't, so I don't do it. But overall, the hair is just complicated for me. Like, as you, I'm doing shadows, but it's not like coloring it all the way. So yeah, that's what I got going. And these little things in the hair that I see people put are also really, really confusing, which is why I don't ever do them, ever. And I tried and I didn't like it, so I deleted it. So yeah, I was gonna erase it, but then I realized it was on the same layer as the highlights, so I didn't do that either. So I just left it like that. What else? Oh yeah, the eyes. So there's always like this shadow on the eyes, and then I realized this was on the above layer. Oh yeah, anyway, back to the eye shading. I love shading eyes. I use this sort of more aqua color, which I don't always use. I use a dark blue, like actual blue. So I had to do that. And then I deleted this and realized I did it on the same layer as the other white part of the eye. So I had to go back and then change the layer again, which is, of course isn't hard to do. I was just complaining because I had done it on the same layer. I don't like doing things on the same layer. It gets very confusing, and when I have to lower the opacity for something, it's not working. So anyway, yeah, this is what I'm adding to the eyes. There's a little spot right there that doesn't have shadow, which is why I went back to it. And oh yeah, you lower the opacity of the eye shading. But anyway, my point was I love shading eyes, and it's amazing to do. I don't know why, I just like it a lot better than shading hair or the face or anything else. I love shading eyes. It's the best thing ever. And time to shade his clothes. I just picked a dark color like I do for the skin. I just picked the darkest color you could ever imagine. That's probably exaggerating, but oh my gosh, a darker color. That's what it is, a darker color. And I just do what I do for the face. Same process, same pretty much everything. Here I'm adding clothing folds, which is something I'm really bad at doing. I do need a lot of help on clothing folds. So I think if I do them enough, I'm gonna improve. But I also lowered the opacity for these, so it's just like little blue parts of his clothes that are sticking out. Looks kind of weird, but yeah. The background was a breeze. Also, I just want to say I love doing this with my characters. Well, I'll take away the character and just let the other like shadows and highlights be, because I think it looks really pretty. So I use this kind of cyan, I don't even know what color that is, and I use this brush. It's called Point something. Yeah, and I set it all the way to the max for size, and I just go with it. And I add another layer and fill with the bucket the lightest layer I could probably find and lower the opacity. And I have the opacity on 51 right now, but I wasn't liking it very much because I had forgotten that it was on a different layer. And if you see like the blue very piling up at the bottom, I was getting frustrated because I had added so much darker blue and realized that it wasn't showing up because there was a different layer. So I had to lower the opacity a lot more just so you could see it, because I like color variations. Then I realized I forgot to put white in his eyes in the other part, so I had to do that. And again, I hate adding the white part, so I just did what I could. So at this point I was very frustrated because I had done everything on a different layer and I forgot to add this, which is the one part that really matters. And I just realized I could have just, oh my gosh, I just realized I could have just stopped the background and, oh, whatever. So I decided to name him Luke. I don't know why, he just looks like a Luke to me. But anyway, that's the end of my video. See you next time. Bye!